As you can see, there's a little change in priorities because the VGC will take a little bit longer than expected. We are giving you the featured match for the TCG, and as you can see here on the left side, we have Karl, who is the reigning champion for the German championship last year, and he's also playing against Viet Tuan. And we have their deck list in front of us, but for you out there interested in trading card games, you can tell very easily this is a mirror match between Seismitoad and Slurpuff.
I do not know much about TCG, but as you told me, there are a lot of Seismitoad Slurpuffs teams out there. Why are they played so often? Are they so good?
They are just one of the best cards you can play in this current meta game. As you can see here on the right, we have Viet, and he is playing an N. Which is basically shuffling all your cards into your deck, and you will draw the number of cards exactly to the same amount as you have prize cards. And as we are seeing the screen, you can see that Karl has his Seismitoad powered up already, while Viet is struggling a little bit, getting the right energy attached to his one on the right side with just one water energy, but I think I see a water energy in his hand here. Yeah, and he is attaching it to it, so you should be ready to attack. And yes, he's attacking with that Quaking Punch that is causing the opponent to not be able to play any item cards. As you can see here, there was a Versus Seeker in Karl's hand. He's not able to play this round just because of Quaking Punch.
So Viet is in the front.
We have I can see that there are 4 prize cards being drawn by Karl already, so I think Karl has had the first punch in this match. And he also has a Slurpuff. He's playing Lysander's trump card. Now both players will shuffle their discard pile into their deck, and will only leave Lysander's trump card behind. As you can see, Viet just left this card out. They're shuffling their decks, cut it once. And this is an easy way to reset your discard pile. If the game is advanced a lot, Lysander's trump card will bring it down to a full deck of cards already, except for the cards that are in play, obviously. Now Karl has some options here. He has attacked already, as I can see, and obviously Viet tried to play an item card here, but he couldn't, as Karl pointed out. An item card is not possible to play. Now it's Karl's turn.
I see a lot of glimmering cards. Are those regular full art cards? Do you prefer those full art cards?
There's some full art cards. As you can see, the Seismitoad on the left side from Karl on his bench and also now active. And he used Cassius or Olivier to shuffle his Branavats into his deck because it was damaged heavily already. And he just brought forward another Seismitoad, attached double colorless energy, and dealt damage for the knockout for the second Seismitoad from Viet already. And this game is all but over if Karl can keep up the momentum here with only 2 prizes left. Yeah, and as you can see, Viet scooped. He picked out his card saying, okay, Karl, you won. That's a fairly common thing to do. If you think you are far behind in a match, and you think you just can't win it, you have to watch the time. If you want to make it back into the game, you will have to have enough time to make it back and to win 2 more matches in a best-of-3 competition. We haven't been able to talk about the TCG yet, so the format is going to be...
I enjoy it.
The format is going to be best-of-3, so we will have a maximum of 3 games or 1 match. And the first game was won by Karl, so it's... the graphics is going to update very soon. It's going to be Karl 1 and Viet 0. For my knowledge, as far as I know. Oh, it's 1-1. I am sorry. So it's 1-1. Karl just made the comeback. So we have quite some time for the last round. And this is going to be the decisive round. Karl obviously wants to make a winner here, coming back from his last year's win for the championship.
How long does a game usually take you in TCG?
Oh, that's very different. It depends on the different decks you are playing, and also how much damage you can deal per turn. And obviously, those Seismitoads, they don't deal that much damage per turn. Or they have only the usual attack they're using is only 30 damage per turn. but it really depends. There are some decks out there which will end the match very soon, one side or the other.
You try to power it up, don't you? The attack of Seismitoad, I heard about that. That you try to power up or help with some toxic or burn to increase the damage Seismitoad does.
If you look at Karl's hand, you can see the hypnotoxic laser in his hand. That will cause the defending Pokemon to be poisoned. Now, with Viet starting, he has an advantage now. Even though Karl would be the one being able to attack first, he now has a Headringer attached to his Seismitoad. That means in this round he is not able to attack whatsoever. So he chooses to play Burbank City Arena, which will put 3 damage counters in between turns on poisoned Pokemon and poisons the first active Pokemon from Viet. And he uses all his item cards as long as he can. And here we go. This is why we call it a mirror match. Here we go. There's another Headringer attached to Viet's Seismitoad. And I think Karl is now playing a Professor Juniper.
What does Headringer do?
Headringer increases the costs of your attacks for Pokemon X. So that means it's not only costing Seismitoad to attack for 2 colorless energy. Now it has to have 3 energy cards attached to it to be able to attack. Now I'm interested. Viet is still able to play item cards, so he's going to make use of it. He's going to use an Ultra Ball, and I think he's going to take a Slurpuff here. Yes. So evolving into Slurpuff will cure him from poison.
Okay.
He's also got the Float Stone attached to it, so he can retreat his Pokemon when he wishes to do that. And he's also able to draw 2 cards now with the Pokemon power from Slurpuff while it is active.
So that's for every Pokemon? Once you evolve it, it gets freed from toxic?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And now we go. It's a Professor Sycamore. It's doing the exact same thing as Professor Juniper does. He draws 7 fresh cards.
Whoa. And Karl is shuffling his hand. They both seem a bit nervous.
Swirlix, yeah, and he's putting it on the bench. I was wondering when he was going to do that. Now he has another Ultra Ball, and I think, which he could do, he could search another Seismitoad, which does not have a Headringer attached to it yet.
Okay.
But I didn't see any. Yeah, he does. But I didn't see a Muscle Band in his hand, so he's now opening him up for another Headringer from Karl if he does not find a Muscle Band. Is he going to attach the water energy?
Let's see.
He's first of all drawing 2 cards for his Slurpuff.
Okay.
He doesn't get the double colorless. If he would have gotten the double colorless, he would have been able to attack right away, and this would be huge for him. What he can't see, I think, there's a Team Flare Grunt in Karl's hand. So he is able to discard. Oh, that's a nice move. He is using Zoric to discard his Headringer, and now that he is able to attach a double colorless to his Seismitoad, he's able to deal the knockout for Slurpuff, bringing himself back into the game, and now the item lock is on. Viet is not able to use any item cards.
That's a big thing, I think. I do not know much about the card game, but I know that playing trainer cards is a big thing to success, isn't it?
Yes, especially in these decks, there are very few energy cards, which is uncommon for most Pokemon decks. But this deck doesn't need that many energy cards anyway, because you only attack with Seismitoad's first attack, which is only costing you 2 colorless energy. And here we see the Team Flare Grunt also Viet had in his hand, and now Karl has the same issue. Not having enough energy maybe to attack. He's using a Hypnotoxic Laser to poison the Seismitoad. Then he is drawing a card from his Slurpuff. And he's shuffling his hands quite quick, so I can't really see what he's using. But okay, here we go. He's discarding that water energy.
So do you get toxic damage every round?
In between turns, you will take toxic damage.
Okay. So similar to the video game.
Exactly. In this case, because Burbank City Gym is out there, that will cause 3 damage counters to be put onto the poisoned Pokemon in between turns. So that means there will be 60 damage each round for that
Whoa.
Pokemon. Now he used a scoop up for his Seismitoad that is immediately taking all his cards attached to Seismitoad on his hand and followed up by a Sycamore, Professor Sycamore, trying to get back into this match here. But also Carl is struggling, not having enough energy here in this mirror match. So it's a very interesting match on a very high level. We'll be seeing if he's able to retreat that Slurpuff here. He does have a Muscle Band, which is preventing him from getting another Headringer. Using that Acrobike to see 2 cards, he can choose one of them, and he decides to take the Versus Seeker.
Do you know Viet, by the way?
I'm sorry?
Do you know Viet? Is he a popular player in Germany?
I'm personally not sure, but Karl obviously has been chosen for this. Oh, here we go. That's a double color for this featured match, as he's the reigning German champion. And the item lock is on again. Now, he didn't do that much damage. I think it's not poisoned either. But for Karl, it's really about, is he able to bounce back and get himself out of that item lock, draw cards, get that energy, and get himself an item lock as well. He only has that 1 Slurpuff, allowing him to draw 1 additional card per turn. And he used Lysander to get out that Seismitoad, which has a Headringer attached to it.
So he has to take care of the Seismitoad as soon as possible.
He can't attack, but Viet does have a lot of supporters going on. He made sure that he has another supporter with his Versus Seeker in the last round, and I see another double colorless in his hand. However, he can't attack this turn. If he has a switch, but I didn't see it, he would be able. No, there's another Slurpuff. So he will draw another card. He's thinking about it. Yeah, there you go. He draws a card. What was it? I don't think it was a switch. I don't think it was a switch to get back to his fully powered. No, he's giving up that turn. And now Karl is really struggling. He is in need of a double colorless energy very, very soon.
What can Karl do to come back in this game?
Well, a little bit luck would certainly help. Now he's using his Versus Seeker. He drew that Versus Seeker, as we can tell.
Okay.
It's nice and shiny, so that Versus Seeker is from the newest edition, which I like a lot, which is Roaring Skies.
Okay.
And he's taking that Professor Juniper and draws a couple of new cards, and finally he made it and got that double colorless. He's playing another Versus Seeker, also nice and shiny.
So Karl can make a comeback right now.
And the Versus Seeker is allowing him to get a supported card from his discard pile into his hand. He's not allowed to play it yet because he has played one already.
Okay.
And he's trying to discard a energy from Viet's Pokemon, but he flipped Tails. So that energy card will remain. And now Viet will counter that item lock with an attack of his own. Now he has 3 energy cards attached to it. Even his Seismitoad with Headringer is able to use that Quaking Punch.
Okay.
All of the cards you can see, most of the cards you can see in Viet's hand, are just not able to be played currently just because they are item cards. He is discarding the double colorless energy from Karl's Seismitoad though, but as we saw already, this is really a mirror match. Look at these moves. They are so much the same.
Are we going to see a lot of mirror matches today? What are you expecting?
Well, in my opinion, Seismitoad is certainly a deck which we will see more often today.
Okay.
But I'm expecting a good mix of different decks out there. Now, this is mirror matches are bound to happen, and that we are seeing this one in the first round is just random. But it's interesting to see these mirror matches because here it really comes down to, of course, also luck, but also a lot of skill. You have to think about, how am I beating my own deck here?
Okay.
And this is some high-level trading card game going on here.
Are there some techs you do on these Seismitoad X teams to counter your own team a little bit better?
Well, they are already carrying a couple of cards. For example, Xerosic. This is a card that is allowing you to discard either a trainer card or a Pokemon tool, better. Or a special energy card. Okay. And Seismitoad X is heavily relying on these special energy cards, as you can see here, the double colorless energy. Yeah. And this can be very disruptive for my opponent if I'm getting rid of these double colorless energies, with a little bit of luck, maybe another double colorless is underneath his prizes, and he's running out of these energy cards very soon, not being able to attack and get out of that item lock. Sometimes it really comes down to, am I getting that one turn without an item lock so that I can play my items and my opponent is not able to do that? This can make all the difference in these mirror matches.
Okay.
And now Karl is drawing 7 new cards, and he's getting 3 Slurpuffs out there, so he's set up for a lot of cards each turn. Also, Viet has 2 out already, and another Swirlix waiting for his evolution. And I'm not sure, but Viet is checking his headringer very often. He's reading the text. I'm not sure if he's planning something, or he's checking that headringer quite often. And now, oh, he's actually retreating it. Okay, maybe he was checking if that affects the retreat cost. It doesn't.
Okay.
It does only take 3 energy cards to retreat it. And now he's attaching the 3rd energy card to his Seismitoad. That can have 2 reasons, maybe even 3 reasons, but Seismitoad does have a second attack, as you can see here left on the screen.
Oh, Grenade Hammer.
That's Grenade Hammer, and it deals 130 damage, which is much better than Quaking Punch in terms of damage.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also damaging 2 of your benched Pokemon. This is very useful if you need more damage to knock out that Pokemon X from your opponent in 1 turn. But it's opening yourself up to let your opponent play item cards in the next round, obviously.
So you use that Grenade Hammer if you really must get rid of one special Pokemon.
This can be a strategy, or it could also be the final blow you need to draw your last 2 prize cards.
Okay.
And then here's another, and here's a turn. Now, Karl is drawing 3 cards immediately. You can see he's kind of tapping. Magic card players will understand. He's turning his Slurpuff to the side just to indicate that he used their power already. And here's the second advantage we had, attaching a 3rd energy to Seismitoad. If there is another Xerosic coming up, as we just saw from Karl, you only need 1 more basic energy to be able to still attack with your Seismitoad.
I'm really looking forward to learn from you. I hope you guys out there are feeling the same, but I'm really happy that Julian tells us a lot about the game, and I'm really kind of getting into it, I guess.
We have a different mix of viewers out there, so some information will obviously be pretty basic for you. Some of you are still learning the game. Like these players are really getting into it. You can see they are playing very quickly. A Quaking Punch from Viet knocked out that Seismitoad from Karl, and he moved a Slurpuff into the active Pokemon spot. Drew 4 cards with the Pokemon powers and got another Seismitoad going on with a Muscle Band attached, dealing 50 damage to Viet's active Seismitoad. Now I can't really tell how many damage counters are on there. I think it's 8. I think Viet's Seismitoad has 80 damage counters on them.
Is Light Pulse, sorry to interrupt you, Light Pulse is kind of to counter a Seismitoad?
No, Light Pulse is not used at all.
Okay.
These decks are not using the attack Light Pulse. Slurpuffs are really just there to have the tasting ability to draw extra cards. This is in order to be able to counter N's trainer cards in the late game. Once you have drawn so many prizes that you only have 2 prizes left, if your opponent plays an N, you will get down to 2 cards in your hand. So Slurpuff will bring you back up in 1 turn to a fairly decent hand size and give you more options in the late game. So these Slurpuffs are just here to support Seismitoad while it's attacking.
Okay, drawing a lot is essential to win the game.
Absolutely, that's right. Now, looking at the prizes, Karl has 5 prizes left and Viet 4, indicating that Viet already knocked out one of the Seismitoads and Karl had knocked out one of the Swirlix. But Viet has quite some damage counters on his Seismitoad, so this is a fairly equal game up to this point. I couldn't tell which way it's going to go, but it looks like the item locks are here to stay. There are quite some Seismitoads well on health, attacking every round. There are Slurpuffs everywhere. Both players are able to draw 3 more cards every round, and everyone's attacking with Quaking Punch every round. So this is why we call it a mirror match. It looks the same. Both players are doing the same things. Now Wirt is forced to do something about it because the Seismitoad was knocked out. I can't tell from his hand because he's shuffling so fast if he has another Seismitoad in his hand, which would be healthier than the one on his bench. Let's see, he is hiding his hand from us. Good move. Good on you, Wirt. And he's using Xerosic. Now there's a discussion going on. Has he used the supporter this turn already?
I don't know.
We're currently... he's deciding on which card to discard, and he used the Headringer to enable his Seismitoad to attack this turn, to keep up that item lock, because it's just so important. But if I see correctly, this Seismitoad has 150 damage on it already. That means one more Quaking Punch will knock it out. And it does, yeah. Now it's really time for Wirt to come back with another Seismitoad.
Julian, what happens if you draw your whole deck?
You can draw your whole deck, that's not a problem, but as soon as you try to draw one more card from your deck and you're not able to do that at the beginning of your turn, you will lose the game.
Oh, okay. So shuffling some cards back into the deck, is that some kind of tactic?
Absolutely, you just have to do that sometimes through the game if you're just moving too quickly through your deck. But Wirt is now in a very, very bad spot. He doesn't have a Seismitoad. Now Karl is able to use whatever item card he wants to use. And with 3 more Slurp, just look at this hand, it's amazing. This is not his deck, this is his hand. He has all the options he needs, and he needs to draw. I just think just one more prize card, he's away from that 2-1 victory. Now Slurpuff is poisoned, which together with the attack from Seismitoad will deal 80 damage, and he discarded the Float Stone. Oh, so now I think that's game already. It's going to be tough for Wirt to withdraw that card, bring another Pokemon active, and bounce back from that blow. That's going to be very, very tough. Karl is in a very good spot here.
Karl is going to win. Is there any chance Wirt still got to win this game?
Oh, I can't think of one currently because he's not allowed to play any item cards. There's no way to withdraw that Slurpuff. He's able to draw quite some cards, but just from his body posture, you can see Wirt was very fast. No, currently, he's not looking too good now. And just look at Karl's turn. It's just beginning. He's just getting fast, and he still has his whole deck in his hand. And now, yeah,
what
damage has been done. There's the Seismitoad. That's step number 1. Now he's trying to get an energy going. He needs to get energy to withdraw that Slurpuff from the active spot. He's not allowed to play a switch. He's not allowed to play the Float Stone. So let's see if he has... No, he's giving up the game. And Karl is winning the first match, the first round of the Pokemon trading card game.
So the champ is on his way again.
Well done, Karl. As you can see there's a better view at Wirt and Karl in the front. It was a great game. It was a mirror match from the beginning to the end. And as you can see, it comes down to details sometimes. And having that one turn of being able to use your item cards is just crucial to winning this game. And as you see, Karl maximized on the advantage of having that one turn of using items in this round and in this match.
Okay, that was game-breaking.
This was absolutely game-breaking. Karl couldn't bounce back from this. It was unlucky for Karl as well because he basically was not able to get a Seismitoad on his bench and attach a double colorless to it. Because he wasn't able to use any item cards throughout the game, he wasn't able to search for one either. So he has to rely on drawing them with his supporter cards. And this comes down to luck, obviously. As we can see, this time Wirt just wasn't lucky enough and Karl was taking down the victory.
It's really interesting to see those TCG games going on and see how mirror matches in TCG work. I guess we are going to see one or another mirror match as well in the VGC game.
It's bound to happen, yeah.
I don't know if the game between Marcus and Jonathan already happened. I guess we are still going into it in some seconds. In the meantime, we would be happy if you tweet at PKM 2015 Germany, and we would love to interact with you via Twitter. We can see them on our screen. That would be great.
We will show those tweets in a moment on the screen. While I'm looking at the deck list here, we are talking about, obviously, mirror matches. Now, looking at the deck list we have in front of us here, I can see this is really about this is a mirror match as mirror as it gets. You can see here, though, Karl has a couple of cards in there which we could call tech cards, which are only in the deck for with one card, and that is Jirachi X and Mewtwo X. You saw that Mewtwo in the last turn Karl made. That is opening him up for a couple of more flexibility against certain deck types. That Mewtwo might be strong against fighting Pokemon such as Lucario or Axe. And Jirachi is helpful in a way that if you don't have the possibility of drawing more cards, Jirachi will give you access to one supporter card. You can search that supporter card from your deck and get back into the game. Even if you don't have any trainer cards, you are able to play.
What does Mewtwo X do?
Mewtwo X is also needing only 2 colorless energy to attack. And this will deal damage similar to the amount of energy cards attached to both active Pokemon. Now we hear that there should be a Twitter feed. We currently can't see it on the screen, but we will let you know once we are seeing this on the screen. We have
our personal screen went out right away. Just join us.
While we are waiting on the screen to pop up, I'm still comparing those.
Please.
Those deck lists. So Jirachi X and Mewtwo X certainly were making the difference. And what I found very interesting, I was trying out the Seismitoad X for myself as well, and I can tell you, it's rather frustrating to play against one, but it can be fun to see your opponent being frustrated against you having that item lock on. Now, when it comes to energy, there are 2 different schools of playing that Seismitoad. The one school is saying, I'm fine with 4 double colorless energy, and I don't need more than these. I can always recycle them with Lysander's trump card. The other side is saying, okay, I would like to have more flexibility. I would love to open up myself to maybe be also able to use Grenade Hammer, the 130 damage attack. So I'm putting in more water energy, and I can see here we have 2 different schools. We saw 2 different schools at this table in the last featured match. So Karl was not using any basic energy cards. We didn't see any water energy at all, while Vietuan was investing 3 cards of his deck for basic water energy. Now, comparing a little bit further, looking at the trainer cards.
Are there big differences? I don't see that much.
We see that both players are investing into energy removal. So using that Xerosic we saw a couple of times throughout the match. We see that Karl is maybe prepared a little bit better for those mirror matches as he's investing in 2 Xerosic. That enables him to discard that double colorless energy from his opposing Pokemon for any Pokemon that is carrying a special energy card. While Enhanced Hammer or Crushing Hammer does not work in an item lock. So against other Seismitoad decks, you will have to rely on either Team Flare Grunt, which is discarding an energy card from the active Pokemon from the opponent, or you have to take Xerosic into your deck.
So let's see. Maybe we are going to see the VGC match pretty soon.
Yeah, you can't wait to get into the VGC matches, I can tell.
I'm really looking forward, I'm kind of hyped. I wanted to play myself, but I didn't find the time to participate in some Premier Challenges and Regionals.
Yeah, but why is it that you didn't take part in today?
Because I wanted to do something for the community. I had no chance to win the trip or invite at all, so I was planning on maybe help AMIGO to host this event, and they searched some commenters, moderators, and here we are. We are here to talk with you about the game, show you every game, and we're really looking forward to set up our screen again.
There's a great staff team behind us here. You can you only see 2 people here, but it's a room full of people that are supporting not only the featured matches, but also obviously the judges outside. Keep that event running, and we are about to get back into the action, I think. It's, well, that's a different kind of action. It's advertisement, but we'll be right back after these messages.
See you soon, guys.
See you soon.